Researchers in Turkey have unearthed yet another trepanned skull. But was this brutal operation the work of magicians or medics? While the academic disciplines of neurology and neurosurgery didn't begin until the 16th century, trepanation was practiced in many parts of the ancient world and is widely acknowledged as the oldest known neurosurgical procedure. Successful trepanation was when a surgeon cut or sawed a section of bone from the skull of a living individual without damaging underlying soft tissue. Now, archaeologists in Turkey have discovered a 3,200-year-old skull with a triangular section sawed out. The big question is, who undertook this complex and seriously risky prehistorical procedure? Trepanned skulls in Turkey, from Neolithic times to the Middle Ages. Ancient Anatolia, modern Turkey, was one of the first regions in the world developed by early Neolithic agriculturists after the last ice age. In 1958, the first publication on trepanation in ancient Anatolia was released, and subsequent anthropological studies on Anatolian skeletal remains show that trepanation was practiced from Neolithic times up to the Ottoman Empire. According to a 2020 Novo Scriptorium article, the skulls of 40 individuals from 23 different Anatolian settlements are identified to have been subjected to trepanation. In 2009, a team of archaeologists announced the discovery of the earliest trepanation of a living human had been unearthed at the Neolithic Aşıklıhoyuk archaeological site in Turkey. This particular cranial operation was carried out during the Aceramic Neolithic period, around 8000 before Christ. Now, showing the progression of the craft over thousands of years, another trepanned skull has been unearthed during excavations at an early Iron Age necropolis in the Itimle hamlet of Uzuntek village in the Hatay district of Van. Medical and spiritual motivations for trepanation. This recent trepanned skull in Turkey was discovered during rescue excavations at the early Iron Age necropolis, which began in 2016. The find was recently posted on the Twitter account of the Excavations and Research Department of the General Directorate of Cultural Heritage and Museums of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Dr. Gülen Ayaz from the Department of Archaeology at Van Uyghur University said the discovery is an extraordinary example of trepanation dating back 3,200 years. However, the team has not yet established why the skull was trepanned. According to the authors of a 2011 study, trepanation in the ancient world aimed to treat complaints ranging from physical injuries to mental health problems and epilepsy. The researchers listed 3 primary reasons for trepanation in the Neolithic period. The first was magical or religious attempts to relieve negative spirits from the body. A second reason was initiation rites. Then the least common reason was as therapy to treat trauma, tumors, convulsions, epilepsy, migraine, loss of consciousness, and behavioral changes. Were trepanned skulls of patients or victims? Another unanswered question about the 3,200-year-old trepanned skull, discovered in Turkey's Van province, is whether or not the person survived their surgery. While the removed section looks quite clean today, the act of drilling, cutting, sawing, and scraping a hole in the skull meant not every patient survived. However, evidence from Peru suggests many did, including more than 100 subjects of the Inca Empire. In 2018, a team of U.S. archaeologists and scientists systematically studied trepanation's success rate across different cultures and time periods. Hundreds of skulls from around Peru were analyzed that dated to between 400 before Christ to the mid-1500s AD. These researchers stated that if the bone around the surgical hole showed no signs of healing, then the patient had died either during or shortly after the surgery. However, when smooth bone was identified around the opening, this indicated that the patient had survived for many years after the procedure. In the Peruvian sample, increasing rates of trepanation survival seemed to show over 1,000 years of refining their methods, said Corey Ragsdale, a bioarchaeologist from Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. We will have to wait to find out whether the surgical subject of this trepanned skull in Turkey survived their operation or not, but we will probably never know whether this trepanation was an act of magic or medicine.